What are we doing today, Gordon?
Yes, well, we've received an air compressor from Texas today. We're trying to unpack this so we can get it in the vehicle and get it out on the boat. So this is how it came.
Look at that. A MaxAir dive compressor. So to mount the dive compressor to the subframes we made, the original feet were anti-vibration feet, but they don't have a stud to mount them on a frame. They just sit on the floor. So we're removing them, and these bolts are bigger than these. So we're just grinding off the rib nuts and just going to put them right through the holes. Once the head of the rib nuts are ground off, I can just pull them right out. There we go. And then these new double-sided anti-vibration studs will bolt through there, and then that'll bolt through the subframe. The subframe for the compressor is built to where it'll sit over our sliding hatch. We've got it all bolted together. All the holes for mounting are pre-drilled. We're going to use rib nuts, and the hatch here will slide open and closed underneath it, because it'll be up here, probably about sitting here above the cabin. So next thing is rib nuts. We're going to use 1/4 rib nuts to mount this dive compressor to the deck, and these are stainless steel. Previously I've used just regular steel for other mountings and butyl taped them in real good. We'll butyl tape all this in real good also, but we upgraded to stainless. So let's get our measure them out with our little measuring device here, and we're going to be using a 3/8 bit to drill the holes to mount these, and then they'll crimp right into the fiberglass. With the dive compressor mounted on the stand, and after doing some layout to where the hatch will slide beneath it and not interfere, we're utilizing that dead space. So we've carefully marked where we want our rib nuts to be, and using our spring-loaded center punch, marking each location so the drill bit don't wander. Now we're going to drill some pilot holes for the rib nuts using a smaller bit. Make sure we can keep them in the center of those holes, and of course, even though it's windy, use the vacuum so we don't get fiberglass dust all over the back of the boat. Pilot holes drilled, now we're going to enlarge them to accept the rib nuts. We bought stainless steel 1/4 rib nuts to put in the deck to mount this dive compressor. And we're wrapping each one in butyl tape so that they seal to the deck. This is my rib nut tool set. I've got multiple sizes of rib nuts, and the rib nuts screw onto a die. And when you squeeze these two handles together, it compresses that into the fiberglass, and you unscrew the die, and it's set in there in metal or fiberglass, whatever you put them in, And then you have 1/4 threads to put screws in. By using riv nuts, you can see this is our center post in the boat, right here by our galley. And it's mounted with screws that go all the way through the deck with a cap plate. And we don't have to drill any more holes completely through our boat by using riv nuts in the outer shell of fiberglass. And as each riv nut is set, you can see the butyl tape extruded around the sides, which ensures a good tight seal and no moisture will get in your deck. With all the riv nuts in place and sealed where they inserted into the deck, now we're creating a bed of butyl tape for the footprint of each leg to rest on. The excess will squeeze out the sides just like you see here, and then we'll pack it in and trim it like we did here underneath the feet for our life raft, and that'll seal the deck to keep any moisture intrusion into our balsa cord deck. So we'll do that for each footprint. And now I'm putting butyl tape around all the upper half of these bolts that I'm going to use to mount this compressor into those riv nuts. See, I got them all lined up here. And butyl tape, butyl tape, butyl tape. Did I mention butyl tape? That stuff's less than $5 a roll. That's still half a roll for many projects. Let me show you just how good butyl tape is. Alright, let's see if we can get 16 1/4 screws in. Oops. Got to play around with two hands to get these lined up and started. Okay, I know it don't show it the best because of the lighting, but there it is. You can see this hole don't line up real well. So I'm struggling to get all the bolts in. I've got 3 in each leg. That's one of the issues there. This issue here is this bolt's in the way of getting lined up. So I got to do some playing around to get the rest of the bolts in. But I have a tool here that I can work on the aluminum foot and egg the hole out a little bit to get the bolts lined up with the stainless steel inserts underneath. So let me do some playing around and I'll get the rest of these bolts in. You know, trying to put 16 bolts in on a frame on a fiberglass boat that's not square, it's all curved. Did the best I could, so I'm proud of the 12 that I was able to get in. So let me do some adjustments and get the other 4 in. Booyah! We are 16 for 16 in our bolts that are holding down the dive compressor. So let's clean up this butyl tape and make it look pretty. And another project complete. The dive compressor is mounted. There she is, complete. Our MaxAir Scuba dive compressor to fill our scuba tanks, so we don't have to go to shore or find a town that's got a dive shop. And the frame looks marvelous and utilizes this dead space where the hatch can slide under it. That would otherwise be just unused space. So securely mounted. Got a nice cover made for it. You've seen that, the blue cover. And we're looking forward to lots of scuba diving on our adventures.